Can you guys hear me? Hello. Nathan is listening. And hello, Nathan. Just doing a test here. Can you guys hear me out there? Hello? Hello? Let's do a roll call. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Hello? Like I said, with that spinning wheel, maybe something went sideways. Well, hey, Matella. Matella says now you can. Maybe this. I apologize, guys. Maybe my headphone jack was not in properly. I apologize for that. With that said, I'll do the introduction again. Hello, folks. This is the Castro Valley News live show. I am amazed and thrilled that we are in episode 35 already. And I got to tell you, it's been a blast. It's been a learning experience. It has been enriching to get to know so many neighbors that I didn't know before, and hopefully you guys are doing the same and meeting other people online that you don't know, that you did not know previously. Let me just jump in here and mention to you, I am super pumped because we have a new magazine coming out this Thursday. And with the shelter in place, it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting where they will be delivered. I'll let you guys know as we go along, because unfortunately, with the shelter in place, the drop spots that we usually have, a lot of these places will be closed. But I will definitely keep you guys abreast as to the locations to where you can get them. Basically, I will just deliver them to any place that's open. Pete's Hardware, Rudy's Donuts. Trying to think of all the places off the top of my head is not going to be a successful endeavor. But with that said, we'll probably have them outside the front of our office. I'll let you guys know where that's at as soon as like I said, as soon as Thursday comes around. But I wanted to thank our sponsors, the advertisers who really make the publication of the magazine possible. That's Pete's Hardware. Pete's Hardware, you know where they're at, you know who they are, you know what they do. They've probably one of, if not the oldest business in our town. Been friends and have known the folks at Pete's Hardware, Linda Rourke and family. They're going into the third generation of ownership there. Great folks. They have everything that you're looking for, and they are 2569 Castro Valley Boulevard. The phone number is 510-581-7633. They are still open during these updated shelter-in-place regulations. I was there the other day, and I was talking to Linda, and they were counting the amount of people coming in. It was what day was that? Yesterday, I believe. And of course, because due to the shelter in place, businesses can only have a certain percentage of their overall capacity. So Linda was counting people in the store so that they were making sure that they didn't have too many people in there. As you probably already know, and if you don't, I will enlighten you and or remind you, Pete's has everything that you're looking for when it comes to home improvement, to your handyman projects. They are the go-to place. They have new store hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Saturday is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday is 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So again, thank you to Pete's Hardware for your unwavering support. Also, on the honor roll for the upcoming magazine is Phillips and Phillips. They are a professional corporation, father and daughter estate and trust law firm, 3 generations in Castro Valley. And That would be James Phillips and Caitlin Phillips. They are located in the Braille building at 2811 Castro Valley Boulevard. Their practice areas are trust and estate planning, trust administration and probate, conservator and elder law. And let me give you that one more time, where they're located, 2811 Castro Valley Boulevard in the Braille building, Breilh. I believe that is directly next door to Positive Karma. And again, the phone number, 510-886-2120. Also on the honor roll is Shane Sharkey at the Castro Valley School of Music. With the shelter in place, they are doing a lot of lessons online. They're doing a lot of virtual lessons. And if you are interested in any of those music lessons online at the Castro Valley School of Music, shoot them an email at info@cvsom.com, or you can ring them at 510-397-0721. One more time, Castro Valley School of Music, doing virtual lessons. Email info@cvsom.com or call 510-397-0721. Thank you for bearing with me as I do this, guys. I just want to give these people a shout out because they are making the magazine possible. The last business who came in to advertise in the magazine, and I want to thank them a lot, is Restore and Rework. They are on San Carlos Avenue, 2572 San Carlos Avenue, Castro Valley, 510-750-1345. And they have a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of antique, vintage, and rustic treasures. Custom metal design available as well. They are now featuring Dixie Belle paint products. They have garden and home decor and a ton of cool vintage stuff. Again, that is Restore and Rework, 2572 San Carlos Avenue, 510-750-1345. And thank you again to all of our sponsors who made this new magazine possible, our new Castro Valley News magazine possible, that will be coming out this Thursday. And I'm looking at it right now, and it's a handsome edition. So, and we have quite a few stories, and we do a lot of stories in the magazine that have already been on the Facebook page, but this one I think only has one. So there's some really cool stuff in here that we haven't featured on the page, and I'm itching to tell you who we interviewed for page one, but I'll leave that as a surprise. It was a fun and cool thing that we did an interview with a kind of a noteworthy television personality who lives in town that a lot of people might not know about. I only learned about it recently that this gentleman lives in town. So with that said, look for the Castro Valley News, the new edition, on Thursday. It'll be around town. Of course, like I said, it's going to be at select spots because of the shelter in place that was just implemented earlier this week. Do we want to talk about the shelter in place? It's kind of that third rail topic that I kind of want to veer away from. I keep hearing on the radio that the new case totals in California and the Bay Area keep increasing, and I know this is a divisive issue, and I don't want to be driving that wedge in between community members in any way. But here we are again with basically the same, extremely similar shelter-in-place orders that we had when this first started. 9 months ago? But the good news is I understand that a 90-year-old woman in the UK was the first to receive the vaccine today. I think they're rolling that out first there, and that is good news. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it remains to be seen how long this tunnel will be. It's more important for folks, if you're inclined, if you have things that you are looking for and you can shop local, please do so, because our restaurants are now back to only doing takeout orders, and it's it's tough. I've spoken to quite a few restaurant owners and people, and they were just bouncing back. And also a lot of the salons, hairstylists, and barbers were allowed to do their business indoors, and now they're kind of moved back a square. And businesses in general, I think it's 20% of normal capacity. So, like I said, Pete's Hardware, we're counting people coming in and not going over that limit. And I know it's tough. Let's help our neighbors and everyone else as much as possible. It just I stop and I stammer whenever this topic comes up, because I know a lot of these business owners and merchants, and it's like being able to do some semblance of normal business, and now being pulled back to not being able to do very much. So with that said, please definitely, as much as you can, shop local. uh, there are so many of our business owners who live in this town they have skin in the game because they live here. We will have a promotion coming up that hopefully will help local businesses. Um, Keep your eyes peeled for that. Um, we with the situation with the shelter in place and having limited drop spots, I think what we'll probably end up doing is we'll offer mailing options or delivery options for people at home, so that we can make sure that we get the magazine out into the community. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. We'll take care of the postage and the shipping. Normally, what we do is we send like two out, and we just request that you keep a copy and give a copy to a neighbor, which is cool because it kind of spreads the love, for the lack of a better term. Um, so yeah, a lot of stuff about the magazine. We would love to be in a position where we can have established home delivery, but that's a huge piece of overhead. That's a huge cost that we can't do at this point. But we can, to the people who request it, we can definitely mail those out, in the interest of getting the magazine out in the community, with so many businesses that aren't open or are open at a limited area where they may just not want to have the magazine there. They're focusing on trying to make their business work at this point, and I totally understand that. Um, Something else that I'm totally overwhelmed with is the response to the card drive for the seniors. uh, Through just a couple posts on the Facebook page, and we put it out on Twitter and Instagram. Right here, I have about 283. I have exactly 283 Christmas cards that I will be personally distributing to seniors at care and nursing homes. And it's you guys are amazing. It's like I can't walk because I'll be tripping over my jaw because the response is amazing. And there is um, an employee of one of the nursing homes who was pitching this on on one of the other pages, and she has 60 extra cards. So it's looking like we will be doing quite a bit of outreach into San Leandro and Hayward. So that's really something that you guys should be proud of, is that, this little thing that we started to get cards to seniors, especially now during the shelter in place. And I heard from, I won't mention which home it was, but there's one in Castro Valley, and the administrator had mentioned to me that it's true. There's a lot of these residents that just aren't getting out, and for those residents at these care and nursing homes, some of them aren't may not be hearing from their families. Some of them may not have families. So for us to be able to deliver a Christmas card to these people, it's just it's huge. It's huge to maybe, brighten their day, to bring some holiday joy to these people. Thank you guys so much for really the overwhelming response. That's so inspiring, and so it's just fantastic. It's so fantastic. There are so many things that happen on this little Facebook page that just it's such there's so many positive things that happen that really make me proud, and hopefully make you guys proud of just reaching out and helping others. You guys deserve a tip of the cap, and a round of applause. Brenda is mentioning she works with seniors, and something so simple as a card means so much to them, and I can't agree more. Brenda, if you are at a home, a nursing home, or a care in a care situation, or if you need cards, please let me know, and I'll make sure you get some. Just send me a message, and I'll make sure that you get as many as you need. Tammy is asking if we need more cards. Need, probably not, but if you have them and if you've made them, please get them to us, and I'll make sure that they're distributed. I'll go pound the pavement, and let people at these homes know that um, the people on Castro Valley News cared enough to fill out all these cards. So yeah, and if you know somebody who works at a nursing home, or a care home, or a hospice home, or if you know any seniors at all who can use extra cards, please send me a message, or yeah, just send me a message through the Facebook page, and I'll make sure that we get some cards to you guys for these seniors. And that leads me to another topic that I bring up just about every episode. If you know a senior, if there's a senior who is your neighbor, reach out to them, let them know you care. Um, if you have spare time, see if you can run an errand for them, or do a favor for them, or it can make so much difference in someone's life to just check in on them and say hello and let them know that they're cared about. Basically, just checking in on somebody is letting them know that you care about them. So even more so with seniors who may be feeling isolated and overwhelmed with what's happening. That is something that hits home with me. My mother is a senior, and it's tough. Um, I know she is feeling those feelings that I just mentioned: the isolation, and the frustration, and the just the feeling of wanting this to be over. Um, and I check in with her as often as I can to let her know exactly that she is loved, and that I care for her, and that I'm still doing shopping for her, um, and doing as much for her as I can. But I'm not. We all have that level of pride, or that level of just mentally wanting to go out and do things for ourselves, and it's tough. Um, it's got to feel like a prison, and That's true. Don is asking if I snapped my fingers at Hank, and I did. I actually, yeah, I did. I snapped my fingers at Hank. He was over there licking his paws. Um, just bear with me. I'm looking through the comments here. Yeah, so if you know of a senior center that may need cards, definitely shoot us a message. A message just came in from Brenda, and Brenda, I'll get to your message as soon as I can. She wants 6. I can send you 12. I can send you enough for your employees as well. The response is so overwhelming. Um, wow, someone else is just messaging in. Yeah, this is another example of how awesome and overwhelmingly empathic and caring our community is. There's so much positivity coming, and so much care and love for these seniors. And it's essentially they're essentially people we don't know, but we know that they are in need of our attention. And yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a topic that really hits home, and I'm really proud of being a small part of getting some cards to seniors. And like I said, we will. I mean, we'll go into Hayward, we'll go into San Leandro, we'll go into San Lorenzo. We'll get these cards to the senior homes. Um, yeah, thank you guys again for. I have 283 here, and that's just like 4 or 5 days. Um, you guys are great. You guys are so great. It's amazing. Um, Bob messaged in that he had his surgery and he's doing good, and I am super happy to hear about that. Let me find his. Bob is back and doing well thanks to the Eden Hospital staff, and that kind of got me thinking about surgeries in general. They are scary as heck. uh, they are frightening as heck. How old was I? Before I was even 15, I had 2 hernia surgeries. I had asthma, and I essentially coughed my guts out, basically, which is fun. Um, Fortunately, thank goodness, I grew out of asthma. But like I said, there were times where I would just sit and hack and cough and cough and cough and cough and cough and cough, and then I would cough more. And like I said, I basically pushed my innards through the uh, the muscle wall in there, and yeah, 2 hernias, and both were surrounded by odd situations. I think it was the first one. I woke up right as the doctors were wheeling me out of the operating room, and I looked at one of the male nurses, and I think I said something like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he looks at me and goes, "You're not supposed to be awake." And I go, um, "Well, I am." So they put me back under for that one. The second one, I had to stay overnight, which scared me to death. And this was back in the 80s, and I know it's amazing how, a lot of these surgeries that we have now are just so non-invasive. I think you can actually, I think some people can get hernias, and it's like a 2 inch or a 1 inch incision, and you're in and out, and it's it's like an outpatient thing. They kept me all night, and the second one, and bear in mind, the incisions for these things were 3, 4, 5 inches wide. I mean, but I was a little kid, so that's kind of relative to, you see size differently, I guess. But the second one, I was it was all over with, and I was laying in bed, and the IV slipped out of my arm, and I woke up, and it was just freezing all over my arm. So the nurses came in and put that back in, and but no, I think any surgery is just frightening because we're just tied into it's frightful. And I can tell you this, as a little kid, um, going into a situation where number one, they're going to cut me open, scared the heck out of me. Number two, they're keeping me overnight, intensified that fear. Um, I just, I didn't want to be away from home. So, yeah, both of those were just, like I said, there were weird experiences with both of them. Unfortunately, there hasn't been anything too significant ever since. Annette corrected me. It's 20% for what business? It's the 20% capacity percentage. Thank you for clarifying that. I was confused as to whether it was 20 or 25, but thank you, Annette, for clarifying me. Bob, I am glad you are back home and safe. I think you mentioned it was your gallbladder that they were removing. And you mentioned that, and my mom had her gallbladder removed in the 80s, and that incision went from one side of her stomach to the other. It was the biggest, and I remember when she came home and she showed me the scar, and I think they literally like cut her in half. And like I said, the advancement in the medical field, medical science is so ridiculous. It's so amazing, and where we're at now is like light years from where we were at back then. I believe the gallbladder incision is just like a little tiny thing, but like I said, this cut that they on my mom's stomach was just incredible. It was so huge, and um, I have a, a hate affair with getting stitches. I know it's got to be different now, but getting stitches from those two hernias were just horrible. And I believe it must have been before the dissolvable stitches or any other advancement in that, because when they pulled the stitches out, were that experience was uh, trying not to swear. It was a nightmare. It was horrible. Um, Literally, it's snip, and then they yank it out, and I started to bleed again from. Oh man. Um, but yeah, I had when I was a little bit older, I was on a bicycle, on a BMX bike. And before I get to the story, I should probably give the phone number out so I don't have to blather and tell this. But this one is actually kind of a well, it's an interesting story about another time I had to have stitches. But anyways, if you want to distract the conversation from talking about getting stitches and falling off a BMX bike, the phone number is 510-331-9112. Feel free to text whatever's on your mind. Um, Topics of discussion, please text it in, or you can call if you prefer. It's fine. 510-331-9112 is the line here. But so I think I was 15 or 16 or something, and I was on a BMX bike riding, and these girls drove by and they waved and they smiled, and I was trying to impress them by swerving back and forth on my bike, and I fell. Actually, I went flying off the bike, and I went chin first into the blacktop. And what it was an exploding laceration, but that didn't stop my chin from going right into the blacktop and grinding a lot of nice blacktop into my chin. So directly to the hospital, and I just remember like vivid snatches and little pieces of what happened. I remember the doctor actually getting on the gurney on top of me with some sort of device, and he was uh, scrubbing the blacktop out of my chin. And I remember looking out of the corner of my eye and seeing my mom kind of like her eyes rolled, and I think she kind of she went down the wall a little bit. And I didn't look back because the doctor, of course, when I turned to the side, he goes, "Look at me," because I got, he's a scrub. I want to say it was I don't know what it was. It was some sort of sponge or something, and he's just scrubbing this, which of course is excruciatingly painful. And then he's holding my head. Someone was holding my head behind me, and long story short, the exploding laceration on my chin. I think 5 or 6 stitches, and again, these were not dissolvable stitches, which is fun when they get pulled out because it's a snip and then it's a yank, and um, it's a sucky feeling. It's extremely painful, but that was that amount of stitches in my chin. There was another time, and I apologize if this is just disgusting talk, but we're talking about surgeries and stuff. Um, yeah, stitches are not fun. I'm sure they're all dissolvable now, which is wonderful. But Matella is saying that back surgery is still massive. They cut her open across her stomach and then 9 inches along her spine. 6 weeks inpatient with no visitors allowed due to COVID. Whoa. Matella, you just made my little my little horror stories a cakewalk. Wow. That's insane. And for anyone at any age, anytime, any type of surgery is just scary because, like I said, you're being cut open and you're going to have, fingers and tools inside you that, you know. But as a kid, like I said, that just it scared me silly. It was so I am certain I sat and cried for many an hour trying to persuade my mom into not forcing me to have these surgeries, but they were necessary. Matella, you are a champ for 9 inches along your spine. Wow. I hope you have bounced back from that. That just hearing that is intimidating as heck. Um, that is crazy. Wow. Um, Bob mentioned he's doing much better using laparoscopic. I don't know what that is. He was in at noon, home at 7. That's not bad. 3 small incisions, one a little bigger. Uh, I sound like an old person that we always compare our health issues. I am an old person. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that Bob is back and doing well. Those 3 small incisions is a great improvement upon that enormous incision that they did on my mom. It just literally from side to side on her stomach for gallbladder, I believe. Um, there was another time where I had stitches. I worked at a picture framing shop, and I don't know what the situation was. I think I was being too brazen in cutting down mat board on one of the big paper cutters, and I literally cut into my thumb, and there was 4 stitches. They sewed. This is kind of a disgusting show, isn't it? I'm sorry, guys. They sewed what was remaining. They sewed my thumb to what was left of my thumbnail, and I remember having the most hellacious headache for the rest of the night. And again, pulling the stitches out from the thumbnail, I think they had a couple pairs of pliers to yank it out. Um, if you guys ever have stitches and they're dissolvable, you are very lucky. Consider yourself fortunate. Um, yeah, I'd again, Matella and Bob, I'm glad you guys are okay and made it through your own surgery ordeals. I can't imagine going through what Matella did, and I'm sure um, coming back from a surgery like that has to be insane. After I had my hernias, literally I was walking around like Father Time. It was. I remember my brother was like, "Let's walk to the store," and it took what was normally a uh, uh, 2, 3 minute walk turned into like a half-hour walk because I just could not move. Um, yeah, I don't want to have stitches ever again. Just the downtime is horrible, but I can imagine it will. Oh, I no, 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 I did have stitches in my mouth when I had my wisdom teeth removed. Um, I believe those were actually the dissolvable ones. And that was an interesting situation too. I had an X-ray, and they were my wisdom teeth were basically impacted. They were, I don't know, they were like they were a hair away from my jaw, and um, really bad things happen if your wisdom teeth get so close to your jaw. I think you can actually break your jaw. It was such a long time ago. I'm probably wrong with what I'm saying about that, but that was wild. That hurt. That hurt really bad. Hey, 510-331-9112. Now that we've got the cavalcade of medical horror stories out of the way. Sorry, guys. We were just talking about surgeries, and Bob's situation really got me thinking about a lot of the things that I had happen to me. Um, yeah, asthma was not fun. There were points where I just had coughing bits where I could not breathe, and I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Not being able to breathe. And I understand that's one of the symptoms of COVID is just you just can't catch your breath. We had Erin on a couple episodes ago, and she mentioned that was what because she had COVID and she recovered from it. That is what COVID did to her. She just could not catch her breath. I would not wish a horrible surgery, COVID, or kidney stones on anyone. So with that said, hey guys, 510-331-9112. That is the text or call line if you want to bring something to my attention or to your neighbor's attention. And I should have done a roll call at the beginning of the show. I know Don is out there. Don Scialpi, One Bad Apple. And it can't be an episode where I don't give a shout out to Don and I don't do an impression. But Don, you're the man. Thank you for tuning in. Who else is out there? I know Mattel is out there. Bob is out there. Tammy's out there. Brenda's out there. Who else is out there? Give me a comment and a or a thumbs up, and I'll do a let's do a roll call. Since we're kind of getting close to the end of the show. I had a list, and I really tore through it super fast. I can't stress enough how important shopping local is during this time. A lot of businesses are closing. The Lucky 13 bar just closed in San Francisco, and they've been there forever. And from what I understand from a friend who lives in Alameda, the prognosis may not be very good for the Lucky 13 bar in Alameda. Or is it Oakland? Are there three? I forget. I don't drink, so I don't really know. But I know Lucky 13 is extremely well known. I have been to the one in San Francisco once. But I think what we're unfortunately going to see is we will see the closure of a lot more businesses, and I can't put words to it outside of it just sucks. It sucks because these businesses are. Hey, Denise. Denise Torres is here. Hi, Denise. Thank you. Elena is here as well. And Elena is saying something. I'm assuming she's mentioning spine. I hope Elena did not have a spine surgery because that has to be a nightmare as well. You guys are making my little surgeries. Like I said, it's a cakewalk. Walk in the park. Um, Kathy's here. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Kathy mentioned to me that if you're in the area and if you're looking for some Christmas cheer, some Christmas spirit, an eyeful of good Christmas love and holiday cheer, there's a huge wreath at the um, car wash on Lake Chabot Road that Kathy mentioned was just installed. So if you want to check it out, go give it a look-see. We could all use some Christmas spirit at this time. Annette Crane is here too as well. Um, Don is asking if we can hear Jan talk as well. Jan, there's only one microphone, so we can have Jan as a guest on a future show. I can ask him, but I can probably speak for Jan, and he's probably not interested in being a guest. He is probably as much, if not less, interested in being in the spotlight. I personally, I don't. It's not about ego for me, which is why you don't see my ugly mug in the video here. There is a piece of tape over the camera here. Otherwise, you would see me sitting here looking back at my dog, trying to figure out what he's doing, or looking at the list, trying to keep the conversation going. Um, okay, Don, I'm going to do it. Don Shelby at One Bad Apple Records. Uh, Don, Don's the man. I've known Don for a bunch of years from when I used to work at the Castro Valley Library on Redwood Road. I have been blessed and fortunate enough to be in this community for a bunch of years in a bunch of different roles. Like I said, I worked for the Castro Valley Library for a lot of years. Got to meet a lot of fantastic people who came into the library, a lot of fantastic people who work at the library. Um, and after that, I worked for the Castro Valley Forum for a lot of years. Met a lot more wonderful people, a lot more fantastic people, got to see a lot of fantastic things, got to experience a lot of great things that happened in our community. We are so lucky to I mean, geographically, a town is a town, a place is a place. But the people here in Castro Valley are unlike the people anywhere else. Um, the people in Castro Valley have the hugest hearts, the biggest hearts, the most generous spirits. We are extremely lucky. Um, on top of the amazing things that we have in our town, like just the Chabot Theater, like Lake Chabot, like the Performing Arts Center. Um, yeah, we are really a lucky community, and on top of the whenever someone is in need, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people who step up and fill that need. Prime example is the card drive for the seniors. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Don is asking, what are people binge watching these days? What are you guys watching? I was fortunate enough, I found a 3-pack of the X-Files on VHS, and I was watching those through the past few nights, and I guess that qualifies as binge watching. Over 3 nights, there was a bunch of episodes, and that was a cool show. Um, a lot of good memories with the X-Files. Hey guys, we are winding down this show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Don, for tuning in. Thank you, Bob, for tuning in. I go down the list. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Bob, I'm glad your surgery went well. Like I said, any surgery is just frightening, and especially when we get up there in age, it's it's even more intimidating because one of the, if you don't have your health, man, you don't have anything. So, and Matella as well. That's a that just scares. That I can't imagine the fear before a back surgery like that. Let me give you guys the number one more time: 510-331-9112. If you have a question, a comment, a confession, a complaint, we'll take them all. We don't mind. I hope everyone's doing good with the new shelter in place. From what I've seen, it looks like the panic shopping has kind of faded away a little bit. I was in Safeway today, and I shouldn't have mentioned the name, but anyways, it's all right. They did have toilet paper, and I spoke to one of the clerks there, and she had mentioned, as cashier, I'm sorry, she had mentioned that it was weird how the um, the tide of what was being um, kind of purchased in volume has changed, because I think it was Sunday or Monday when the order kind of went back into place. She had mentioned that, of course, the toilet tissue disappeared, and she said a shipment came in of that, and it was good for a while, and it still is. There's toilet tissue there, quite a bit. But she had mentioned the day after, paper towels disappeared. So I don't know where the the flip is with paper towels and toilet tissue disappearing. I don't know. Um, it did not seem like the staple items were disappearing like they were. Um, I think it was over the weekend. Um, was Denise is asking the next when will the next food giveaway be again? And I honestly don't know. I know the schools were doing them for a while, and I haven't heard from them. I believe Three Crosses is not doing them anymore. They had, I think, a leadership change there. Um, but I will ask around and see what's going on. In the meantime, Denise, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. This is another thing that is amazing about our community. It is so cool. If you go down Forest Avenue, drive kind of slow. There is a blue cupboard there that has food, and it's not just a cupboard; it's a refrigerator now as well. It's the community cupboard on Forest Avenue, and there's food there. It comes in all the time. There's a wonderful person who lives there who does this, who maintains it every day, and there's tons of food there. Definitely check it out and see if there's some items that you need there. Also, in the meantime, like I said, I'll reach out to some of the folks that I know who are kind of in charge of these things. There's also another food giveaway that the sheriff's does at the old Fairmont Animal Shelter on Fridays. I think that still happens. I'll check on that and see if that's still happening as well. I think it's 1 p.m. that they do that, and it's free. Um, but like I said, I will definitely check on those for you, and I'll post some information, I'll try to message you the information about the food giveaways. Um, and I totally forgot what I was talking about. But the food giveaways now more than ever are super important, because so many of us are out of work. Even more so now because of the new closures with the shelter in place, because the salons have closed, the personal care places have closed, the gyms are closed now, and yeah, it's so tough for so many people. And God, I wish I remember what I was talking about before before the question about the food giveaways. Yeah, definitely, Denise. Anyone else, if you are in need, check out the community food pantry on Forest Avenue. You can't miss it. The pantry itself is sky blue. It's painted sky blue, and there's a refrigerator next to it. Um, Such an amazing asset to our community. Also, if you have food that you're looking to donate, you can bring some of that there. They also have plants that people exchange there. It's really a really neat thing here in our community. I wish there were an opportunity for a book exchange because I see tons of books in dumpsters and tons of boxes of books left outside at the sidewalk. Um, and I know, especially now, myself, books are so important as an escape, something to kind of unplug with. Um, Hopefully, maybe someone will be in. We have tons of free libraries, the little libraries. You can go to littlelibrary.org and check out where those are at. If you have books that you'd like to donate, you can bring them there. I'm sure you can bring magazines as well. There are little cracks in the sky there that are awesome, like the little free libraries and the community cupboard that are filling those gaps of need in the community. Hey guys, since nobody's calling in, nobody is texting, I am going to tell you guys this is going to be the end of this show unless somebody texts something in or calls. And if not, that's cool as well because we've gone about an hour and I think we're cool. I apologize if I grossed you out with the surgeries and stitches that I got. Um, but like I said, Bob's surgery that was coming up, that just passed, was coming up during our last episode, kind of got me thinking about walking down memory lane, thinking about those special times in the hospital getting stitches. No fun, no fun at all. Hey guys, thank you guys for listening to me blather another time, another week. We will be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. We will be doing the same thing, talking about issues of the day and war stories and stories of love in our community. Thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you guys so much for the overwhelming, incredible response to the card drive that we're doing. Like I said, if you have filled some out, definitely get them to me, and I will bring them to a home. I I don't think we need any more, but I'm not going to say no. And especially if you know some seniors who would like some cards, shoot me a message and I'll get some to you. I can bring them to your house, or you can stop by our office and pick them up. We definitely don't want to say no if there is a need. Um, you guys are amazing. So many people delivered, 40 or 50, or I went and picked up 40 or 50 from people's porches. Um, it is evident that both the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving, and the spirit of community um, is here in Castro Valley in huge numbers. You guys are awesome. I'm going to sign off before I start tearing up because it's really, really touching and amazing that you guys are so eager and willing and generous to give of yourselves, especially during the shelter in place and Christmas. Thank you again, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. We will be doing this thing again. And remember, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Be good to your neighbors. Be good to yourself. Hey, guys, thank you.